Hi, this is Jennifer Cory with the Heart Initiative, and I am delighted to welcome you to this bonus session from our Calm Body, Calm Mind, Cultivating Tranquility presentation that I shared with you all last week. These are some of the primers to the training that are going to be offered through the Heart Initiative, the program that I've created for people with chronic and degenerative illnesses. And in this particular workshop, we talked about, in Calm Body, Calm Mind, we talked about the relationship between the heart and the mind and the brain, and how these signals are bidirectional. They're sent from the brain down to the heart, and the heart responds, although not blindly. It doesn't sort of obey blindly. It turns out the heart has neurotransmitters of its own. It's sort of its own thinking organ, and it's measuring things, and the heart also has the capacity to send messages to the brain. And in doing so, both of these have a very strong influence over the central nervous system. And so one of the things that we talked about was using things like breath and meditation, different forms of meditation, as a way of building up resources internally and resilience, resetting the nervous system so that the body is less sort of hair trigger reactive and more appropriately reactive, and that the recovery from those stress reactions, the recovery from being flooded with things like cortisol, is much better, much more efficient in the body, which is incredibly important when you're dealing with any kind of ongoing or chronic stressors in your life. So in the presentation, we talked about the pranayama breathing, and then I also talked about the loving kindness meditation as a way of really building that kind of resources and a sort of suppleness of the heart, so that the heart is sending messages to the brain that are also in alignment. We talked about coherence and synchronicity, in alignment, in helping to bring everything to a more relaxed and less sort of sharply reactive level. So what I want to teach you today, I want to offer you, is an experience of a loving kindness meditation. And so that requires you to be someplace where you can shut your phone off for just about the next 10 minutes, shut the door. Certainly don't be driving or operating some machinery. This is time to just take a few minutes out, so you're not just thinking about these tools and skills, but you're actually having an experience with it. And then I want you to measure for yourself at the end of these 10 minutes, do I feel different? And what would happen if I did this every couple of days for a week? Notice whether or not there is a difference in the reaction of the mind and the body to stress. So the loving kindness meditation, Metta Bhavana meditation, is one where we cultivate this sense of love and compassion, both inwardly and externally. And by doing so, help the heart to open, to relax, to become more supple. I want you to think about the difference between a muscle that's very contracted, what might be happening electrically to that muscle and responsively to that muscle, and to one that is more relaxed, not necessarily limp, but a relaxed state, so that it's able to pump more effectively, to interpret things more effectively, to send messages more effectively, and even at times to be of help to the mind in terms of interpretation and the brain in terms of reactions, to be able to respond instead of reacting to things from this heightened, stressed or heightened anxious state. So see if you can shut your phone down, not just turn it over, but actually shut it off for just a couple of minutes. Everything that you need to take care of will still be there when you come back in just a few minutes. Shut the door to whatever room you're in, if that's possible. If you could take your shoes off and sort of plant your feet on the ground, that would be even more helpful. And you might hear noises in the background here. I'm actually in a building in the city, and so there's some background noise. You may hear it where you are as well. We can either see those as great distractions, or we can even allow that to be incorporated into this meditation that we're about to do, meaning that we experience those things with radical acceptance. Oh, there's a noise, and come back to the breath, as opposed to, that's so annoying. Why is that noise there? Resisting it, fighting it, analyzing it, all of those things, that we can step away from that and just have this kind of acknowledgement, awareness, and come back to the breath. And the same thing I'm going to ask you to do with any intruding thoughts. You notice I don't say if you have an intruding thought, because of course you will. There'll be a moment where you'll think, did I return that phone call? Or I wonder how long this is going to take. And that instead of judging those thoughts or getting caught up with them, that you just become aware of them, just conscious, oh, there's a thought. And then immediately return to your breath. Your breath is always going to be the anchor in this work or any kind of meditative work that you do. Return to your breath and to my voice and to the present moment, just the moment that we're in, again and again, however many times you need to do that without judging, I should or shouldn't be having to do that, just accepting. Here we go, part of the universal human experience. And that you, as gently as you can, usher your attention back to, was I inhaling or exhaling? Where am I in this process? And that you drop back in.